What's up, everybody? I'm back from PRI. Been back for about a week, and went to PRI, was waiting on some parts for the car, and of course got sick. So I've been working through being sick for the last week, which has been awesome, and as you can imagine. But basically, yeah, we're back and Fiesta is done. Can you imagine that? It's been forever. So, car's done. Let me show you. So, it's been, in total, way too long. It's been 21 months. And ultimately lost a lot of that time due to missing parts. Not missing parts, but like back-ordered parts. I went through a really rough patch with my physical and mental health that I dealt with for a long time. Not sure even how many months that was, probably 6 to 8 months. We had a slight issue with cage design and things. ARA has gotten a lot more strict on what they will give a logbook to. This car was originally one of our version 2 kits. This is why we've stopped selling our cage kits and have done a complete redesign. There wasn't necessarily a need for a complete redesign, but every time we do need to change something, I like to go through and just see where else we can improve on things. So we do have a version 3 fully designed, ready to go, but we are planning to change manufacturers and try to take control of about 90% of the process and bring 90% of that all in-house. So that's in the works, but lost some time to that, had to cut the roof off, had to get approvals, had to provide different options to ARA and see what they would accept. So there was a lot of back and forth there, and just, yeah, lots of waiting, lots of time lost to some things out of my control. Obviously my health out of my control for the most part. Body shop taking 4 months to paint the interior. That's 4 months gone there. I'd say out of the 21 months that I've had the car, I've probably really only put physical work on the car for about 6 or 7 months of that. But yeah, that's that's the story of why this car has been here so long. And of course, trying to fit that between events with the Evo 10 and Summit, and some other customer projects as well. But for the last 5 months or so, I've pushed everything else aside other than Summit and his Evo 10 to work on this car. So we're end of December, week before Christmas, and I have basically been working on this car non-stop every possible day I can work on the car since the beginning of August, maybe end of July. So it really has been a solid 5 months cranking out on this car, and there was a ton of custom work into this car, which is part of the reason why it's taken so long. The devil is always in the details with cars like this. There's a lot of custom little things that needed to get done in order for everything to be within reach of the driver, who's quite a bit short. So we did pedal box, and we did have to move all of the controls to her: steering, pedal box, shifter, all the buttons. I mean, the push start button that's on the dash is probably close to a foot away for her to reach when she's at full length, like trying to hit the button. So had to bring that to her while in a belted position. Yeah, just lots of things to think through before attempting execution, and even attempting execution sometimes took more than one try. You know, you can theorize and plan and plot, but until you start actually doing it, you don't know. A lot of times, you know, sometimes it works out the way you think it will, and first try, and more often than not, it does not. So, but yeah, here we are. Let me show you the car, show you all the custom stuff. All right, so first things first, let's get into it, right? So one of the main things that we had, not main things, but one of the first things we had done was brakes. So as you can see, these brakes and these wheels are super tight. There is just about enough room to put a thick piece of construction paper in there at the moment. We ended up having to put some wheel spacers in there to space the wheels out. The offset on the wheel was not correct for this brake package. This is a TRF front brake upgrade kit made specifically for gravel cars, but just the offset wasn't quite right, or maybe just the wheel design and the way that the inner barrel here, you can kind of see there's the inner barrel kind of down there, and then it comes up really high to where this inner lip here is more like a higher and away, and that's really where the interference is. So if it wasn't for that, I would say that would have cleared. And then we've got some upgraded control arms, and I'm not sure, they're boxed in. They're basically stock arms that have been boxed and have maybe a better ball joint in them or something. You know, they're going to be stronger. They definitely have better bushings in them, and ultimately those had a clearance issue with the back of the rotors. Once you went from full droop to level on the car, putting weight on the nose, so we had to grind those down, clearance those. That took a lot of time, just up and down and grinding and taking everything apart, putting everything on. Every time we do that, had to do literally, you know, car on the ground, full weight on it, try to move the car. We'd hear it scraping, put it back on the lift, back up, wheel off, caliper off, rotor off, try to clearance whatever we thought was going to clearance it. You know, you don't want to clearance this stuff too much, so taking off a little bit at a time. Don't know how long that took. That took quite a bit of time. That was one of the first little hurdles that we sort of ran into, besides the wheel clearance with the caliper. So that whole package sort of became a problem right from the get-go. That was one of the first things that we had to solve and sort out. All right, so let's get under the hood here. So put the hood prop up. So here we have stock Fiesta ST 1.6 turbo with trans that has been upgraded with a different final drive, ring and pinion. It has a Cusco LSD in it as well. We also got that through TRF. Rally Spec next door are the ones who took care of installing the ring and pinion and the transmission, as well as the diff, obviously. And yeah, you don't see much in terms of major upgrades otherwise here. There are some high-end motor mounts here. Also the one on the back, on the bottom. I did gold foil tape, which actually has a fiberglass sheet mat in there on the firewall. The wiring loom has also been wrapped in like a velcroed style heat wrap. Hoses, brake hoses that go up and over have also been heat wrapped. You can see the fire suppression nozzle there for the engine bay. And yeah, so one thing we did here was we relocated the battery. By relocating the battery to behind the driver's seat, you lose the mount for the ECU. Normally the ECU would be like this on the side of the battery here, and then you'd have like a full-size battery here with a battery tray, battery box. We needed to solve two problems with this. So obviously relocating the battery, that's one whole thing in itself, but we needed a mounting solution for the ECU. We needed a mounting solution for the reservoirs for the pedals inside the car. Now, I've seen a lot of different series or a lot of other cars, drift cars and other stuff, hill climb cars, where this is inside the car. That's a big like no. Don't want to do that in a race car, right? Flammable materials. It's brake fluid. You don't want excess brake fluid inside the car that could catch fire, or be in a very inaccessible space to actually fill fluid into. It's you know, it's just common sense. The places I see these reservoirs mounted sometimes completely baffles me. It doesn't make any sense. They're mounted up, you know, in the front of the windshield, like where you could barely get a cap off of them. You can, you know, and they're in your view a lot of times. I see them in the door down in here. You know, you open up a door and you see them down in here, but they're on the inside of the cage. They're tucked in a little further. A lot of dumb spots to mount these things that I've seen, you know, over the years. So anyways, I try to keep all fluid reservoirs in a safe space where you can actually access them, fill them, and keep them maintenanced. Also, too, you know, rally services are tough in terms of spatial constraints with other people working on the car at the same time. The last thing you want to do is put a fluid reservoir like this inside where somebody else is going to need to be to clean the inside of the glass, take care of things inside the car. You kind of want to package everything in a way where you're keeping things sort of packaged together correctly, right? So here you've got all your fluids. You've got your engine, you've got your coolant, you've got your brake front and rear, and you got your clutch fluid all in one place. So whoever's under the hood checking fluids, torquing things up, whatever, this is their domain. This is where they're working, right? So anyways, but one thing you don't really see or notice is the additional heat shield we made for the back here. This was made to cover an aftermarket exhaust manifold, and just to, again, try to keep a lot of that heat out of the way. So silencer, plug that up. There is an oil cooler in here now that I'm not sure you can see in there. There's a Mishimoto oil cooler. There's an upgraded Mountoon aluminum radiator in here with some upgraded Mountoon hoses. Stock intake always for a rally car. Just easier to keep water and debris and everything out of the intake. Definitely don't want to do aftermarket intake style intakes here. Other thing we did was we made shock reservoir mounts, external reservoir mounts for the Rigers here and there, and very easy to access adjustability here and here as well. Gives you enough space to get a screwdriver in for the center knob, which actually I'm not even sure we need to do that, but yeah, I think that's just soft and hard compression. So the other two adjustments are actually on the shock from underneath. So, but yeah, I ended up putting studs in on the top hats. I don't like putting bolts down and through. You can still get these out. It is tight, but you can get them out. And that's that. We eliminated all the ABS brake lines. Obviously, we made all new brake lines for the car, being that we have a pedal set. Everything's been made out of stainless and line. And yeah, that's pretty much under the hood. Going inside the car, but we'll go to the back first. So obviously hood pins back here again. We'll open this up. Back here we've relocated the washer bottle. I've also made a fire suppression mount. This space here can be used for some other components, a jack, first aid kit, triangles. You could mount a bunch of different stuff to that as well. Made a proper sort of bulkhead top for that rather than the big rubber OEM piece that you normally get there. Really not much else to see back here other than that stuff, but that is definitely some stuff that was needed. We'll come over to the brakes. All right, so I'm back. The camera died and I didn't have any card space left, so let's get into the next thing here, which is the battery. So battery relocation is here. It's in a Melee battery box, anti-gravity battery. It's got the original battery terminals, even the original ground posting from up front in the car. This piece here is normally welded to the strut tower. Relocated it here, rewelded it here, and then this has actually got a whole fuse box, or you know, I'm losing my words here, but fusible links. This is a whole set of fusible links for a bunch of different stuff. So I wanted to retain that. It's also got these other sort of connectors that go on the ground post and the positive post here too. So, but to do this, we had to relocate obviously a bunch of wiring. So we have, you come up front here, we have main power coming up through the center console, or just along the center console here to the kill switch, and then out the other side and up the tunnel through the firewall out to where it should be, going to the fuse box. Then we have a wire coming directly from the starter all the way to the battery as well, and then there's an additional wire for I believe power for the power steering, which is here. So we had to deal with routing all of those wires and running all of that stuff as well. If you like what you see, like, share, subscribe. I think that's what they say. And if you can, comment. We'd love to interact with our fans, our customers. You know, it's pouring outside. But yeah, hit the like button, hit the share, subscribe, get it to your friends. Let's get this stuff around.